Sony have already released the A1, but could Sony's A7IV be the next camera to be released? I hope so. If you watch my last video, you know how desperate I am to get my hands on one. It would be easy for Sony to slow down after releasing the flagship A1. While other camera manufacturers like Olympus and Nikon are struggling in the market, Sony seems to be flourishing. If we look at the release schedule from the from the A7S3 to the A7C to the A1, we can see a rough timescale of between 3 to 4 months in between, and that looks like the case for the next camera. If you watch my last video on the A7C, you'd know I was disappointed that the A1 came out because I was waiting for the A4 or the A7IV. We've all heard the rumours about the A7IV before, and it seems that these rumours are hotting up again with a new camera being registered with or by Sony. We've had the same source leak some rumoured specs of the A7IV, who leaked the correct A1 specs, so they've got a little bit more weight. This is going to be a quick video, so let's get into it. What's happening, guys? I'm Mo and welcome to Hexadecimo, the home of the nerd, with tech tips, reviews and hacks on how to get the most out of your tech. Sony are certainly throwing everything they have at the camera department. We're being spoiled with cameras from them, and in my opinion, Sony have taken the crown as the best camera manufacturer. They've overtaken Canon with a great color science, affordability, and very little issues of overheating. Come on, Canon, you can do better than that. Sony have literally doubled down on their cameras. Apparently, the A7IV will have a brand new 30 megapixel sensor with a faster readout and a whopping 15 stops of dynamic range. Wow! I'm not sure how that will work in low light, but maybe they want to direct people to the A7S3 instead if they need that low light sensitivity, but I'm going to trust it will do a great job as the A1 performed very well in low light with a 50 megapixel sensor. According to Sony Alpha Rumours, the A7IV is also set to improve on its video capabilities too, with the new camera rumoured to have 4K 60 compared to the 4K 30 offered in the older cameras, which will be a decent improvement and save a lot of time in post if you're working with slow-mo. And some people say it will have 10-bit 422, which will be a dream to have in this camera. Imagine, even if it's externally Sony, external 10-bit 422, we will be happy. Doesn't have to be internal. For stills, it's rumoured to shoot 15 frames per second. The autofocus has also been improved over the A7 III by 30%, which should match it with the A7S3 and the A7C with Sony's real-time tracking. What do you guys want to see out of this camera? Do you shoot video or photos? Are you looking forward to buying this camera? Let me know in the comments down below. Back to the A7IV. The battery should be using the Z batteries or the Z batteries and sport a decent battery life. Other rumours include that the EVF and the screen will be on the cheaper side to save on costs and will have 3.69 million dots instead of the A7 III's resolution of 5.76 million dots, which I don't understand because they can't release this camera at the same price point as the A7 III because that's roughly the same price point as the A7C. So this is going to be a bit more of a premium camera in my opinion. I know a lot of people are hoping that these will be better, and I'm one of those. So Sony, if you are listening, the people have spoken. Sony may or may not skimp on the EVF and the screen, but the image we all know is going to be great. And assuming these downgrades are cost-saving methods to accommodate the higher expense of the new sensor and better video capabilities, without having to raise the price by too much, then they'll have to drop the A7C's price, which I don't see them doing. I think people are looking at the A7C and thinking that's the successor to the A7 III, which it wasn't, because it's its own camera in its own sense. It's a compact camera, and I've gone into more detail in my A7C video, so check that out if you want to know my views on that. But staying on the A7IV, personally I think it's going to have the same EVF and screen as the old one at the least. I can't see them improving the image resolution and then putting a worse EVF and screen on there. It's just not good business sense. And I'm also hoping for a fully articulating screen and not one of those flip up screens as we saw in the A7S II, as we saw in the A7 IIIs. They're saying that the Sony A7IV will cost around 2.5 grand. This is a little bit more expensive than the A7 IIIs when they first came out, which were originally 2 grand. However, with the higher specs, a newer sensor and better video quality, I'm sure many photographers and videographers won't be put off by a slightly higher price point. It also puts it in the middle of Sony's hybrid lineup between the A7C and the A7S III. Also, it doesn't make sense to price the camera the same as the A7C, as people would just buy the A7 IV instead, especially if they're the same price. Why are you going to spend the same amount of money for a lesser camera? Some of these rumours are silly, I swear. Anywho, I'm also hoping for a dual native ISO, but sadly I've not seen any rumours about this. If you've heard any, please send me some links in the comments. I would love to read about them. So that's about it for the A7 IV rumours for now. I've reached out to Sony for some info and we're gonna have to wait and see. So if you found the video useful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more tips, reviews and news. Until next time, here's Mo signing out.